Hello lovelies, welcome. It's Yasmin Vorajee from Tiny Time Big Results and welcome to the challenge. Da, da, da. I'm sorry it took a few minutes to get connected today for some reason. Usual internet issues, but we are here, we are live. And I'm really excited to kick off the Get Paid for What You Know challenge. So if you're watching this live, hello, and if you're watching this as a replay, hello. I'm really thrilled that you are joining me for this journey for the next 5 days where we talk about how you can get paid for what you know. Now, if you have your own business, then one of the biggest challenges that I see people struggling with, and I know I certainly struggled with this myself, is what is it that I'm actually selling? And what I see is when you're thinking about what it is that you're selling, and you're, if it's a product or if it's a service, and I suppose a lot of what I share does relate very easily to services, but it also relates very well to products as well, because I have a lot of clients who actually have product-based businesses. So what I'm going to be sharing with you, whether you have a service or a product, it doesn't really matter, because what we're going to be focusing in on is getting paid for what you know. So when you think about what is it that I'm selling, sometimes we make it a little bit complicated. Sometimes we make it a little bit harder than it needs to be. And the reason why I created this challenge was to actually show you that where you are right now, you have enough knowledge, you have enough experience, you don't need any more certifications, you don't need to take any more classes. I'm a lifelong learner, so I'm always learning. But when that learning takes the place of actually taking action, that's when you have a problem. So I'm not saying that you don't go and do more, learn more stuff to get better at what you do. But if that becomes the block that I can't make any money until I've done that, then that is a bit of a red flag to me, because what I believe is that everybody, where you are right now, you have the knowledge that you need. You have the knowledge to be able to put that in a format that will allow you to profit from it. So that's what the next 5 days is all about, is how do you get paid for what you know? And the trick here is to appreciate and recognize how much you do know. So we're going to take this step by step, very gently, and each day there's only going to be like one small thing that you have to do, or that you have to think about, or that you have to jot down in order to get the most out of this workshop, this challenge. And so I'm going to be taking you on this journey, because when I started my business, I say this very openly, I didn't have a clue about what it really meant to have a business. Like, I'd worked in big business for 12 years, and yet I still had no clue when it came to my own business. So, we've all been there, and, I think this makes me uniquely placed to be able to spot the pitfalls I see people falling into, because I fell into them myself. And if I can stop you from falling into it, then happy days. So the thing is, whatever you have done so far, whatever you have worked on or developed or anything like that up to this point, you have actually knowledge, experience, expertise that other people want. And the biggest block for that is you. Because you're probably thinking, nah, nobody really needs to know about this. Nobody really needs to know about that. Nobody wants to know about these things. And actually, if there's one thing that you walk away from this week, from this challenge, is please stop dismissing what you know and thinking that it's not important. Honestly, if that's the only thing that you ever get, then I will have done my job. Because when you dismiss that, you are denying a really important part of who you are and what you're here for. And you are holding that money back, holding that prosperity and that abundance back away from you, because you're dismissing it. And so by the end of this 5-day challenge, you will have a really clear understanding as to how to get paid for what you know. So you're going to claim your expertise, you're going to share it, I'm going to show you how to get paid for it as well. So let's get cracking. And these live streams every day are going to be short, sharp and sweet for you, because we all have tiny time. And so I really want to make sure that you actually do watch them, because I know what I'm like. I'll sometimes look at a 15-minute video and go, oh, I haven't got 15 minutes. So I'm going to try and keep these really nice and snappy so that you can watch do the task, and then that's it. You're done until the next day. And don't worry if you miss out any of them. I'm going to be sending you the link where all the video is going to be kept so that you can go back and watch them. And there might be some that you want to revisit. So day one, this is what we're going to be looking at. Now, you can see that some of you are watching live, so be sure to say hello in the comments box below. I'd love to hear from you. If what I've said so far resonates with you, are you the person that dismisses what what comes easily to you? Do you dismiss that, you think, oh, well, sure, everyone knows how to do that? If you're that person, I'd love to hear from you. So do please put your comments in the box below, and I'll check them out when I'm finished doing this piece, and then we can have a little conversation. So day one, get paid for what you know. The first question that I want to ask you, and it's a really simple question, and it's a really lovely question, and the question is, what is it that you love? What is it that you love doing? And I want you to strip away everything that you do in your business right now. It's not that it's about what you do in your business, but because that can keep you quite in a narrow field of vision. But I want you just to think about, what is it that I really love doing? Hey, Anne-Marie. Hi, Yasmin. Yes, I tend to be one of those dismissive people, but really want to look at this area as a business opportunity. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. So what is it that you love doing? Okay. Now, there's some things like, so if I give you examples of what that might look like, you might really love helping people. I know that's fairly generic, but you might really love helping people get clarity. You might really love helping people improve the way that they communicate. You might really love gardening. You might really love growing your own vegetables. You might really love sewing. You might really love cooking vegan food. You might really love doing DIY. And the reason why I'm kind of asking you not to put your business head on necessarily is because sometimes when we kind of go down that business route, we do get blinkered, and we kind of think, okay, what do I love doing in my business right now? Well, I don't like doing my books, and I don't like doing marketing, and you kind of come up with all the list of things that you don't love doing. But remember, this is about getting paid for what you know. So to give you an example, I was running a workshop recently, and there was a fantastic woman in the workshop, and she was talking about arts and crafts, and that's what she was wanting to get into in selling in her business. And what I did was, I was kind of a bit cheeky and sneaky, and I just planted a little seed in her mind, because the reality is, and like I said, I do have clients who have product-based businesses, but the reality is that when it's a product, and if you're creating that product, then you have a limit, you have an income cap, because there's only so much that you can create, and there's only so much time you have. And when you have tiny time, you can't trade time for money as the only way that you bring revenue in. So if you have a product-based business, then think about what it is that you know, because somebody might want that information. They may not necessarily want the product, but they want the information. So I'm going to plant that seed into your mind. So this is why it is about getting paid for what you know. And you know so much. Like, I almost want you to, during this challenge, is to have like your brain firing off tons and tons of ideas about how you could actually, turn what you know into money in the bank. That's really it. And then do you know what? Do you know what happens is when you get paid for what you know and that turns into money in the bank, you now have a business. And I've worked with clients who have pivoted in their businesses from what it is that they were doing into something that is far more lucrative, far more enjoyable, less time consuming, by simply taking that change of perspective of like, okay, so what can I actually monetize? And don't worry about, we're not going to think about getting paid just yet. All I want you to do today is I want you to ask yourself that question. What do I really love doing? Okay, because over the 5 days, we're going to be whittling this down and kind of funneling it. And I want you just to keep a very open mind. It's only day one. Let's keep a really, really open mind. And so that's all I want you to do today is get a piece of paper, blank piece of paper. At the top, I want you to write what I love doing. And I just want you to spend at least 5 minutes. Thanks, Kathy. I want you to spend 5 minutes and just write down everything that you love doing. everything that you love, you know, like I love talking about feminist stuff, like, you know, in case you haven't ever read any of my rants, like, you know, for me, politics, all those types of things, that really gets me, that's something that I feel really stimulated by, you know, like I'm always talking about like women and helping them to improve their life and helping them to balance their, you know, parenthood, and, you know, helping men to do the same thing, and to, you know, like there's so many things that I absolutely love doing. And here's a kind of a sneak preview. What I want to do is show you how you can integrate all of those things into your business. Still get paid for it, you know, turn it into money in the bank. So all I want you to do is take that blank sheet of paper today, my lovely, what I love doing, and I just want you to jot it all down. Just take 5 minutes. I don't want you to take any more time than that. Just take 5 minutes and just write it all down, because this is really where the little nuggets of gold are. And you may not have ever considered any of these things, but hopefully during this challenge, you'll see exactly where I'm taking you with this, and maybe open up a whole new world for you and help you think about what you could do in your business, and, you know, create more prosperity for yourself. So that's all I have for you today. Day 2 tomorrow, and I will send out this video and as a replay, and it'll be on a page so you can watch them back again as well. So I hope you're going to enjoy this challenge. Thank you so much for being with me. If you're watching this as a replay, or if you're watching this and you kind of came up with some ideas and things, just pop it down in the comments below. Kathy says exciting. I'm looking at my hair now and thinking, God, you can see me whites again. They're all sprinkling at me and shining at me. That's what happens when you've got 3 children. They're aging me. All right, my lovelies. Listen, I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll let you know what time I'm going to be doing that, because I've got to go on an airport run tomorrow, so I'll do that before the airport. Kathy says, looking forward to a fresh perspective. Fantastic. Great stuff. All right, guys, pop your questions and your thoughts, everything below, and I will see you for day 2.